Trikes. Absolutely amazing on flat, hard surfaces. But if you've only got grass, well, it chews it all up. Let's do something about this. Perfectly formed balls. First drift trike. Now, I think this is the best drift trike design there is out there. The petrol version, this is the electric one, has been copied many times, and I haven't seen a neater, more symmetrical design as the one I did all them years ago. Now, for today's challenge, so we can slide around on grass and not chew it all up, these wheels, very slippy, very good, have sharp edges. What we need is something that resembles a ball. Yes, well, you've seen the thumbnail. You know where this is going. Right, how are we making these? Okay, we need to make some metal balls or some metal spheres to put on our drift trike axles. Now, we're going to use a process called hydroforming, and I've been here before. This has been stuffed up in the roof for nearly 10 years. So yes, nearly 10 years ago, I made a video on hydroforming. Basically, get two flat bits of metal, weld around the edges, attach a normal garden pressure washer to it, and expand it and pump it up. Now, I didn't think you could do spheres because I tried a circular one all those years ago, and as it goes up, all the edges crease up, and I kind of thought, nah, can't really do that. But if you get as close to the sphere as possible before you start and then expand it, it basically like turns a hexagon into a circle. So that's what we need to do. Right, we need some templates, we need to cut some stuff out. Okay, there's two ways we can make our templates. We can do it manually with bits of paper and bits of wood, or we can do it electronically, we can do it in CAD, or a bit of a mixture of the two. Now, essentially what we need to do, we need to make a sphere, but we need to kind of square it up a bit. So we need to put some straight lines in our circle, like this. Now, you will lose a little bit of circumference, obviously, because this is a little bit shorter. Join these up with some lines, and effectively, the lengths of these, that will become the diameter of the bottom of your cone, and that will become the diameter of the top of your cone, and then you've got the distance in the middle. What we're trying to do is this, like this kind of, you know, like a weird bobbin sort of shape. Now then, you can go online, there's all sorts of different cone calculators online. This one's by craigrussell.co.uk. Put your bottom diameter in, your top diameter, and then the distance between the two of them. Obviously, if you do a scale drawing, you can measure that. So once you've put those dimensions into the calculator, it gives you the radius of the bottom of your profile, and then the top, and then basically you join the lines up, and you'll end up with something that looks a bit like this. Now, of course, I'm very lucky. I have a flash plasma cutter. I have been to the barn, I have cut this out on the plasma cutter, and we have ended up with these. Very nice. But I know what you're thinking. I haven't got a flash plasma cutter, Colin. I don't use CAD software. How can I get to this? Saw this on YouTube. Ron Cavell, or Conavel, or I don't know what his name is. This is our pretend cone. There is our bottom diameter. There is our top diameter. It is spaced out in the distance that we need to be. This is our part of that circle, which is the top bit. You then essentially would put this on a flat piece of card, place it down, marking an edge where you start, and then you basically roll it round, tracing where you want to be, and that will give you exactly the same pattern as this, and then you can cut it out with an angle grinder, which is possible. Obviously it's not as good as this, but you'll get the same result. Right, let's go and put these through the slip roller, bend them into cones. I've got the middle band, I've got the top pieces. Let's go, TIG welding. Now I'm using 1.5mm stainless because I don't want it to be too thin, because obviously it'll dent like hell. But it'd be interesting to know how it hydroforms, because you know, stainless is pretty hard stuff. So is this going to stretch and expand, or is it going to be a little bit too thick? We shall see. Beautiful! Right, that's got that sorted. This end, absolutely perfect. Probably the best cone thing I've ever welded up. This side, something not quite right. I don't know whether I've put the numbers in the computer wrong or whatever, but we had a bit of a gap. Now, I've sorted that out. I've shoved it up. This is going to be our experimental one, and we've got a few questions to answer. Is 1.5mm stainless too thick? Will the pressure washer pump it up and hydroform it properly? Or is it just going to kind of just go bleh and a little bit wrong? Now, after that, if it all does work, this end, these little marks here, that's where I'm going to drill holes for this to then attach onto a go-kart axle. Now, this plate on the end is 3mm thick. It's a bit thicker, possibly could be thicker than that. If that doesn't bend, which we hope it doesn't, when we bolt it on, is it going to be central or we're going to end up with a wobbly wheel? Because if we do, that's just as bad as leaving it like this. Right, but before that, what are my kids doing? This video is again sponsored by, you guessed it, Surfshark VPN.
What is a VPN?
It's a digital privacy tool that masks your internet traffic, protects your identity, and prevents tracking.
Does it work on all devices?
You can protect as many devices all at once, and it's available on Google Play and the Apple Store.
Can it stop annoying ads popping up?
Yeah, no ads, no trackers, malware, or phishing attempts.
Can it help with gaming?
Surfshark uses encryption, so it'll keep all your data like passwords safe. And in camouflage mode, even your internet service provider won't know you're using a VPN.
And a VPN?
A good VPN like Surfshark is safe and secure from hacking due to all the security measures it has to make it work. So, to try Surfshark for yourself, use my code Colin and get 83% off and 3 extra months free. Link below in the description. Right, let's do some hydroforming. The pressure washer is attached via a union. With this sorted, it's time to get everything connected up, ready to hydroform. Right, let's turn it on. I'm gonna get as much air out as possible, so there's a little vent key I'll put on the top of this. I've still got a radiator key on my keys from when I was a plumber. Right, let's turn it on. As the pressure began to build, our bobbin-shaped piece of stainless steel slowly began to become a sphere. But do you know what? That is pretty good, that. There's a couple of little high spots and stuff, but only just. I reattached it to the pressure washer to give it one last more pressurisation and tried tapping the high spots to see if I could affect it. This didn't work, and then it just fell over, and then I got wet. Okay, Colin is a happy person. 1.5mm stainless will hydroform very nicely. Now, this top bit has done an absolutely perfect job. The bit where at the bottom, where I had the slight issue with the template or something, it's not as perfect circle as the other side. Now, the things that we need to learn from this is the plate that was going to attach onto the axle, that has bent slightly. There is a slight bit of a curve to it. So, I've got an idea. We'll get this template, which welded to the middle bit perfectly. We'll do another 2 of them, so we'll make it symmetrical, put a lid on the top of it. We won't bother with the little axle thing straight away. We'll hydroform it, make a perfect ball, and then afterwards, we'll drill out a hole, weld the next bit in flat, and then we'll be able to poke it through, get it right, and then kind of balance it so it's definitely in the centre, so we haven't got a wobbly wheel. Yes. So I set about putting together my second bobbin, and this time I paid extra attention to make sure the seams butted up and lined up absolutely perfect. And also when I welded them together, rather than welding them with filler rod, I kind of melted them into each other, which gives like a flatter, more neat and consistent weld. Right, let's see if this makes a difference. Oh great, it's leaking. And let's get it on the camera as well. Don't leak. That's pretty good. I'm pleased with that. Super round top, super round bottom. It's a little bit flat in the middle, but I think if we make it generally a little bit bigger, it puts more pressure, more surface area base. It's a bit like hydraulics. It's got a bit more force, and it might have enough to just creep that middle bit round a little bit and make it into a perfect ball. Now then, how am I going to attach this to an axle? Because I've made a slight oversight. Okay, we've got our go-kart axle mount, but of course it's got studs on it, and if we drill holes in here and put that there, the nuts end up inside the ball. That's not ideal. So, to get around this, I've got a bit of pipe, and I've welded a little cap end on it with the studs in. There's holes so we can get to those studs, and then we're going to weld that on the end of our ball. Very nice. The next hydroforming. We've got this. It's bigger, but not only that, these are all equal. 14 centimetres, 14 centimetres, 14 centimetres, 14 centimetres, 14 centimetres. It's all as equal as it possibly can be. Right. Come on, let your bit of one. is perfect. Why, that's no moon. Okay, that is exactly how I wanted to turn out the first time. Absolutely brilliant. Perfectly consistent circle right across its arc. Looks amazing. Right, now before we go and make another one of these, I want to get the axle thing set up on it, and then also we can try and balance it and make sure it's as true as possible. Now, on the end of this circle here, there's this little divot feature, because the plasma cutter at the farm has this ability to like centre punch the material, so it doesn't cut all the way through it, it just looks like a little half moon shaped thing at the surface. Very useful. So we can drill through the centre of that, and that's dead in the centre of that circle, and obviously the hole I drilled to fill it was also in the centre of that circle, so we shouldn't be too far off. We're just lining them up, but if we can kind of clamp them in between something and then spin it and see if we've got any wobbling, and then if there is, then we can kind of move the thing around and kind of correct it in that way. Right, let's get that done. Look at it! I am very pleased, man.
I woke up early the other day, wondering what would make me happy. I want to live a life that's justified. I want to play video games and get high. Talk good food and sex and beer, and I make my money like an engineer. Support your government domination scheme, you know what else the world don't really need. So all I got is some rock to play.
Right, that's pretty good. I'm happy with that. There's a slight high spot where the weld is, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do much about that. And it's certainly no worse than the plastic sleeves that you bash over the tyres. So, I think I'll whip another one up, and then we've got two. Excellent. I've only got one glove on. Chamon! Chamon, mother... Oh, just leave it, just leave it.
Don't we love each other. You can kill us, but wait till I left
Ah, there we have two perfectly formed balls. Right, very pleased with them. Excellent. Now, if you want to know more about hydroforming, of course, you can go and re-watch the video I did all those years ago. There's also a guy called Connor Holland who has done exactly the same things like this, but he's also done spheres starting from slightly different patterns. I'll link him in the description. And of course, sheet metal work, Ron Cavell, like I said at the beginning, that's where I got how you can do all the patterns and stuff without using your computer. He is a master too, also linked in the description. Now then, I think the drift trike should match this, so I'm going to make a full stainless steel drift trike so we can shine and buff the whole thing up and it looks absolutely beautiful. Right, build montage.
I stole your heart, but boy, you ain't
Right, let's see if this thing works. Back on there. I think we're good to go. Have I achieved my initial goal though of making a drift trike that doesn't chew grass up? Oh yes, this thing does exactly what I wanted it to do. Now, it's been really good. The axles haven't bent. I was a little bit worried about that. The Hydroform balls have been absolutely flawless. They've not dented, they've not come apart. It's all been good. And of course, they will slide around on grass without making a complete mess of it. Now, of course, you've seen how I've made this. I have got other drift trikes on my channel. I've got an electric one and I've got one that you can make without using any welder or anything. The whole thing's just bolted together, bent, and just put together with really simple tools. So check that out. Give a subscribe. It's a lovely thing to do. Right, I'll see you in the next project where I get weightless.